Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to session 2 today on the last day of DudaCon. Great to see you. And it's wonderful. We have no technical problems. I see both of you because I know in the last session there was a little bit of a waiting period. So here we are.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Jonathan.
Thank you.
So you ready? Buckled up, everyone? Let's see where you're all from. That would be lovely to see. Maybe we can get some live comments while I introduce you, Rocio and Jonathan. I didn't wear my hoodie. I see you have a t-shirt, Jonathan, right? That's better for the weather, I guess.
Yes. Even though it's chilly here, we are in the Quebec office of Duda, Canada.
Mm-hmm. And where you based, Rocio?
I'm from Argentina, Cordoba, in the middle of the country, and it's really cold here.
Lovely. I used to live in Istanbul, Turkey, and now I moved 4 years ago to Berlin. So I am from Berlin right now, and here is winter again. It was 2 days ago, it was summer, but now we decided to switch to winter again. So, yeah. So I saw Illinois. That's lovely. And well, let's see what you have prepared for us today. And let me say, welcome, first of all. We will unlock new revenue channels with Duda eCom today. And we have Rocio here. Rocio is a product owner of Soluciones, and she's a digital strategist specializing in marketing, UX, and product development across Latin America. At Soluciones, she leads Duda-based web, e-commerce, and landing page solutions for clients in actually 9 countries.
Yes,
so that is a lot. Super cool. And with a master's in digital marketing, UX, and UI, she blends user-focused design with business growth. So very curious to see what you will present to us today. And then, of course, we have Jonathan here. He is the e-commerce product leader. I'm sure you all know him already. He's from Duda, and he's a group product manager, like I said, and he's leading the e-com group in Duda for the last 3 years already. And he is in a technical product manager specializing in payments, integration, and complex products role. And I myself, I'm Puna Rinsal. Currently, I'm working for Amazon in the ad side of things. And just before we listen to YouTube ads and AI, which was super, super interesting. Thank you, Bengu, for leading us through this session. And yeah, now the stage is yours, Rocio. Take us through your slides.
Okay, thank you so much, Pinar, for the presentation. Let me share my screen. Let me check. The slide now. Let me present that computer. So, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rocio. Like Pinar says, I am happy to be here today. I will talk about Guru's journey. We will see how Guru helps small and medium businesses, SMBs, with Duda. We will talk about what we did, the good results, and our plans for the futures too. Okay. Let me talk about Guru. We have worked in Latin America for more than 60 years. We have SMBs in the market. As you can see on the map, we are in 9 countries, and this helps us to understand many different needs. Now, more than 62,000 businesses trust us. These are businesses in Argentina and other parts of Latin America. And we started working with Duda in 2018. It has been a very good partnership for us. Okay, let's talk about our Duda store customers. This shows who we help. The pie chart shows that Argentina is our biggest market with 62.9%. Then we have Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Guatemala. This is where we have most Duda e-commerce clients. Our top 5 industry for Duda store customers are construction, apparel, home improvement, vehicle parts and services, and business services. This industry use our Duda solution the most. Now, about our journey with e-commerce. Why did we choose Duda e-commerce? We saw an opportunity. Our sales team noticed that many SMEs wanted to try e-commerce. They wanted simple and with low risk. We did a platform evaluation. We checked many e-commerce platforms. Some were strong, but they were not simple enough. They also did not integrate well with our system. So our need was really clear. We needed a platform that fit SMB's unique needs, and it needed to connect easily with our website services. After checking, Duda e-commerce was our best choice in about different company that we were looking of. So why did we choose Duda? There were 4 main reasons. It is easy to use. It is very simple for our internal teams and for our clients. It has like a good integration. Duda connected easily with our current web services. This was very important for us. It's scalable. Duda can grow with the businesses. When an SMB grows, Duda can handle more needs. Fit our system. Duda felt like a natural part of our business tools. We wanted to make it easier for SMBs to start e-commerce, so we removed the difficulties. Before, our setup model was high cost and agency heavy. This scared many SMBs, so we changed. Now we have a lighter and lower cost package. It has a small initial setup. This helps SMB to manage the stores easily after a quick training. This way, businesses quickly get the benefit of selling online. They do not need to worry about difficult technical things. With our web page plus a store model, online selling is for everyone in the market. Many businesses are now selling online easily. For this, we made our Duda Grow Starter package. It includes content creation. We generate good tests for their website. Up to 6-page design. Client get a nice and useful website with up to 6 pages with us. Initial store setup. We add the first 10 products for them. This helps them start selling fast. 6-month coaching. We give personal help for 6 months for our clients to guide their digital growth. This package is made to grow. Clients can easily upgrade the bigger online stores with more products. They can grow their e-commerce as their business grows. And we also change our internal work. We move from outsourcing to having our own experts. Before, we used many outside people. Now we have a special internal team member for web creation. This makes our knowledge deeper and gives us more control. We also made our roles simpler. We combined 3 jobs, getting information, writing tests, and design into one job. This makes communication easier and delivery faster. And we added a dedicated QA, a quality assurance team. This team checks every website very carefully before we give it to the client. AI tools are very important for work too. So we use AI to make design content faster. This helps us launch faster and keep quality good for all types of businesses. What took months before now take only days. To explain this better, making a website plus a store model that we created with Duda takes 14 days now. For other platforms, the competitor, it takes about 38 days. This speed is like a big advantage for us and for our clients. Our products have to change a lot too. So we have 4 phases. Phase 1 for our clients is a web. This is the first step to start the digital change. Businesses get an online presence. Phase 2, web plus store. Here we add e-commerce easily. SMBs can start selling online with few products. And the phase 3, a store that is only the store. This phase gives full e-commerce solution for businesses ready for a complete online shop. The phase 4 is the future, store AI. In the future, we will use AI for product recommendation. This will make buying better and help sell more. So these changes had a big impact for Guru and our clients. Our setup costs went down a lot, and we did more work per client. Let's see the main results. First, more businesses using it. Many more SMBs are now selling online. Hundreds of new businesses started. Easier to start. We offer low-cost solution for all budgets. More accessible, this helps us reach more SMBs. Businesses that could not afford e-commerce before can now use it. And the last one, real sales. Most important, we help these businesses sell online and get real results. Let me share one success story that we have inside of the company. We work with a wine shop in Santa Fe in Argentina. They changed their business a lot with our solution about e-commerce. They put their many good wines online, and this helped them reach many more customers and sell much more. For the future, Guru and Duda have exciting plans, more AI integration. We want to use AI more for better store optimization, personal customer experiences, and automatic customer help. Better community and training. We will give more help and training to our SMBs. This will help them keep succeeding and be more independent. Okay, thank you so much. Pinar.
Thank you. I was looking if we have some questions, and someone asked, did she say 62,000 businesses?
62,000. Yes,
Did you
in
say that?
Latin America.
Okay. That was what was a surprised comment in the
number.
section.
Yes.
Jared. Yeah, exactly. So thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
I don't see any other questions for now, but I'll open up the questions, of course, later on. So please keep them coming. We are monitoring the chat, so please feel free to type them in here. And I also have some questions later for you because it's really amazing what you did. And now let me pass on the microphone to Jonathan.
Hello. Great. So we wanted to share with you a bit of what happened since the last DudaCon. We thought it would be nice to look at, a year from the last DudaCon until now, what we've done with Duda native e-commerce, some of recap about the features and the progress we've made, and also about some data about how the stores that are being built on Duda are performing, and also give you some sneak peek into what we are planning in the coming months towards the next DudaCon. So if we look at this last year, it was a really year of growth on our store performance and numbers of store. The first thing is that the number of stores actively selling and published on Duda almost doubled itself of people using the native store. I think we see this as a point of confidence of many of our partners and direct users in the native e-commerce solution of Duda, which keeps growing in these rates, year after year. And also the number of transactions, meaning how many times a year, a month, a day these stores make sales, is increasing also very rapidly, again, year after year. Like every month and every day, actually, I have this internal chart of how many stores made a sale each month and how many, the total sale. And I see it growing each month, and it really makes me happy because I think, just following up on Rocio's presentation, we all know that when an agency or a partner builds this store for businesses, they want to build it to make sales, right? These stores need to perform, they need to provide value for the business. This is how do we always say that it becomes more than just a lead generation website or informational website that people can know about the business, but it can actually generate revenue for the business 24 hours, 365 days a year. So, and also the volume of sale, not just the number of transactions, keeps increasing, and we see, stores making amazing sales and like drops and specialty products and physical products and services and digital products. We see all of these happening in Duda all the time. One of the nice things that we saw this year is, we offer our merchants to be able to have live shipping rates calculated on the checkout to allow them global fulfillment. This is supported anywhere over the world, meaning that once your customer wants to check out, they will get their specific rate for their specific cart based on all the weights and dimensions. And what's also very nice to know is that a lot of this growth comes because Duda gets very good deals about the shipping labels for the merchants, for the selling side. So we see all this dimension growth, and I think we see a really good confidence in the performance of Duda's native e-commerce. And how did we manage to make these improvements and these numbers grow? So let's see what we've done with Duda native e-commerce since the last DudaCon. We added more support for the EU region and other markets. We had a lot of requests for many merchants to have the tax included in the price of the product. In the US and Canada, usually taxes are added after the checkout or when you go to the checkout, but in many countries, it's included in the price. And this is a very big feature and a very big requirement for a lot of merchants to be able to present it in the right way. also to be able to enter the prices with the gross price and not to do calculations. And many countries also have what we call tax groups that say that alcohol products or food products or books are taxed in another way. So we allow that, and we see this, a lot of the growth coming from many markets outside North America. We also complemented this by multi-language. A lot of stores want to offer their catalog, like the storefront, like the website, in multiple languages. And we added support for Molly payments, which is a payment processor very popular in the European Union, and we continue to add more along the way. We also introduced many other features that, tying up to Rocio's presentation, help beginner merchants, people who want to begin small with online e-commerce or with selling online, to do this without getting into the complexities that might be with setting up complex operations, selling nationwide or international. One of them, which is very important, is offline payments. This allows the merchant to set up, let's say, cash payments or by the phone. We also know that in some markets, people prefer to make the payments by phone or by cash in the store. And also for large purchases, sometimes you don't want to pay online from both the buyer side and the seller side. So that's one very popular feature that we see with a lot of adoption within the native stores. The second one is store pickup. A lot of places, small artisanal businesses that sell locally want people to be able to come and pick up, or they want to manage some very local shipping, like by postal code. They ship to this part of the city. Maybe they do it themselves. Maybe they're using a very local delivery service. And it allows like very good granularity for, again, merchants who are starting their journey in e-commerce to be able to sell online in a safe and, I guess, easy to digest way. We also allowed more customization for merchants. The first thing that we allowed is for buyers to give some input regarding a specific product that they want to buy. It can be, think of like a personal message on a t-shirt, like we see in the example, or for a flower shop, or just any other customization that they want to communicate to the buyer, to the seller. And this allows many more people who wanted to sell online but couldn't because we didn't have this feature to come on board, and we see all the usage that they do with it. And we also allowed more flexibility in the checkout process, like opting in for marketing, which I guess a topic that comes a lot in DudaCon, and some other customizations as well, like legal requirements per state, etc. So these are many of the features that we introduced since the last DudaCon. So let's see a bit about our upcoming plans. So first one, it's a big one, and we talked about this a bit in the keynote of in the beginning, the first day of DudaCon, is Duda booking. That's coming. We know a lot of people sell services already above Duda e-commerce, but we also know there's a lot of need, not just to make the sale or to take the money, but also to schedule a specific time with the business. It can be a barber shop, beauty salon, a lawyer. Think of any professional service that you want to provide, construction, installation at home, etc. So very soon we are going to launch Duda Booking. It's going to be around September this year. We are going, based on our very good experience and the very good response that we get from agencies and partners and merchants, to create very easy to use feature. I don't know if you know this, but today about 2/3 of the stores that are managed on Duda were created completely by the merchants in a DIY way, which gives us very strong confidence that the UX and the experience that we create for them makes it very easy for them to use without a lot of support from the agency or the partner. And we intend to do the same thing with Duda Booking. Also, it's going to be very integrated with the Duda platform. Think of plumbing the widget into the website and automatically get the website design, and combining this with templates and APIs workflows that many of our customers use, because we understand that this as a feature needs to serve our customers at scale and not just building one site after the other. So if you want to get more details and also see a very nice live demo about Duda Booking, so you can watch the keynote session that we had in the first day, and in the last few minutes I do a demonstration of Duda Booking, and I think it's also in the blog post at the summary of the first day. And if you are, as a Duda customer, interested in joining and getting early access to that, in the blog post in the Duda website, there's a way you can register to get early access. So that's one thing very big coming soon, Duda Booking. We are very excited about this. And I think according to the responses in the chat 2 days ago, our users are as well. Another thing that we are going to release actually very soon is more customization to the checkout, to add custom fields and sections with very multiple types and a variety of ways that merchants can collect information from their buyers when they do the checkout. This is a highly requested feature that a lot of merchants ask us, and I'm happy to say it will be going live soon. We are also going to enhance the product customization in the product level. Think of uploading a file. Let's say in this example, we see someone can type "my best friend" and have it printed on a t-shirt, but what if they want an image to be printed? So they can upload it and add it to the cart and checkout and the order details. And checkboxes, think of pizza delivery or anything else you want to customize by selecting, and more types of inputs that user will be able to use. We are also going to integrate with Authorize.net. It's another popular payment provider that a lot of businesses want to use. And continuously, and this is, I think, in the number of dozens a month, we release small enhancements to the store every day and every week based on feedback that we get from users and specific needs to make it more usable, more scalable, and selling more. So this is like a brief overview of last year and next year.
Super interesting. There's a lot in the making, and maybe you can do another session like this next year. What has came to life, and I'm sure most of it and even more. So super insightful. Thank you very much. We had a question from Ron Rose, but Rim already answered that one. There was a specific one around ACH payments and the steps from offline. And now I'm going to see if we have other questions. There's one, when developing e-commerce stores on Duda, which integrations you found important for building a truly successful online store?
Is this for me or for Rocio, or for both?
I'm sure you both can answer it, but whoever feels like this is your question.
So I can start.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the question talks about integration in general, but if we zoom out a bit, I think, and we've looked into like very detailed data of thousands of stores, and we see that the critical factors to allow a merchant to go live successfully and start selling are setting up any kind of shipping method, usually, and of course a payment gateway. But usually what makes the difference is whether the merchant sets up some kind of shipping method. It can be automatic shipping, which is like an integration, with external shipping providers with all the live rates. But it can also be like a very simple flat rate shipping, maybe nationwide, maybe to specific zones, or maybe using the zip codes. And from what we see, if the merchant does this within the first 2 weeks of their setting up the store, the chances that they will finish the configuration, go live and running, and start selling are increasing at least 4 times. And if not in the first 2 weeks, so I would say in the first 6 weeks, this is what you can say like the golden window for a successful setup of an online store. And I think, and also can share from their experience as well, what we see is that the most important thing is to begin, to have something go live, see the response of the audience that comes to the website. And this is usually what makes the tipping point, especially for people who are not very experienced with selling online. People who have, previous experience, maybe had a different store and come to Duda and build, another store with their partner. Usually they do this very fast. But for those who are at the beginning, the most important thing is to set up some kind of shipping and, of course, payment options and go live within 2 to 6 weeks.
Okay, in my case, I believe that the most important part is to try to work with tools for the communication. Even though we are selling in a store online with an e-commerce, you need to connect with users. So we do a lot of integration with AI chats, or for example, widget about WhatsApp connectors, or different type of way of the user can contact directly with the company. So I think the communication, even though we are trying to sell in on the e-commerce, the communication has to be important too.
Cool. Jonathan, there's another question for you. So do we have more details for accepting offline payments?
Yes. So I'm sure Rim will send another link soon, but just in general, how it works in Duda, and we see people use it in many different ways. People can go into the payment section of the store in the back office, and then I think it's the last one, they have offline payments option. They click on it, they enable it, and then they can configure multiple ways that people can pay offline. And then, the merchant usually gives it a name, like pay by phone or pay by check or pay in store or pay on delivery, whatever. It can be more than one. And then adding some instructions. And when the customer checks out, they see all these relevant options and they can choose which one they want. They see the name and also the instructions. And also this data goes into all the emails that come out from the store, to make sure that people get the instructions in the relevant place and they don't forget them. Let's say if it's a bank transfer or something like that, including the bank account number and details. I hope this answers the question.
Thank you very much for addressing it directly. And maybe, Rocio, I can ask you something, because I personally also super interested in all things AI brings to maybe Duda and also your business itself. So, Rocio, has the integration of AI into your process changed the experience for SMB clients, or also for you and your team?
Okay, the integration of AI tools changed things a lot for us. For our teams, AI helps us work much faster, for example. It helps to accelerate design and content creation. For SMB clients, I think that AI will be more important in the future because our plans are to deepen AI integration to give them advanced store optimizations. So this means maybe better online store and more helpful than in the future.
Super interesting. And also maybe another follow-up question to you, Rocio. How did you train your team to adopt this new GTM and product model? Any internal enabled tips you can share with the audience today?
Okay. Training the team was one of the most important parts for us, for our process. We started with simple sessions to explain the new product model using example and real cases. We didn't give all the information at once because we shared it step by step to avoid confusions. So also we created short internal materials that like videos, guides to complement all the information. We try to make everything easy to understand. One tip that maybe will help us a lot was to listen. After each training, we asked for feedback for each of the designers. We also identified some champions inside of the team, people who understood the model quickly and helped others. So I think that it was like a mix of clear communication, small steps, and support.
Cool. And also, I'm sure at Duda you also get a lot of feedback on product features, right, Jonathan? And I'm sure, and maybe it's also cool that we have both of you here now today. On maybe you can share with the audience how you use the user feedback that you get from partners like Guru, and that you directly then integrate into your projects and the decisions on what to prioritize in your product updates. I'm sure there comes a lot of ideas and a lot of suggestions, but you have to make a roadmap and see what should be the priority. So maybe you could take us through a little bit of your world at Duda.
Sure, would be happy to do that. I think I can classify this to like two main buckets. The first one is, you can say, market specific or country specific changes. E-commerce in the top line or high level idea, it's the same in most countries, but each one has their own regulations and shipping providers and tax schemes and way to present the currency. And even in the same country, you can find some merchants doing things in one way because they're used to it, and some merchants doing things in another way. So we invest a lot in collecting this feedback from specific markets and addressing their needs. We do this through our idea forum that we have. People can go into the Duda product. We have the idea board. They can see what other people voted, and they can also, we share a lot of progress on our, we share a lot of updates on our progress over there, so people can know if something is already in motion and do we have an ETA to release that. And also another channel to get this feedback is through our partners like Guru and others across the world. So that would be one kind. And regarding this, as we mentioned, we released the tax schemes for many countries to support. I remember there was a time a few months ago, we get a lot of feedback from people in Australia that required some Australia-specific feature for taxes. So we are always listening and incorporating these. And this is mostly, you can say, for existing features that we have on native e-commerce that requires specific adjustments for specific type of products or markets or localizations. The other one is the most strategic decisions that we take. And I think that we usually look into three buckets. One is to enable more people to use the store. Let's take, for example, the product customization example. If I was a business that selling customized t-shirts and Duda did not provide me with the customization feature, I was not able to do that. So we keep listening and surveying and see which businesses onboard to the platform. We also get a lot of feedback on businesses that want to but cannot. And we prioritize. I think that the first priority that we have is to allow as much businesses as possible to sell their products on top of Duda. The second one is, and I think this comes as the second priority, is to make more sales. And actually, most of this we bake into the product from at first without even having merchants to ask for it. One of the major things that we do is with the SEO optimization, which is now also directed to AI models and AI optimization, which has I think 10 different names in the recent 6 months. An interesting feature that we recently released, also announced in the keynote, was the LLMs.text. This is a feature that basically summarizes and maps the content of a website for LLM agents like ChatGPT, like Claude, to be able to easily understand what's on the website. And one of the things that we insisted to do, like from the very first day of the release, is to include all the products that are on the native store over there. So this makes it much more likely for agents like ChatGPT, like Claude, to know which products people sell and to increase sales over the stores that Duda are created on top of Duda. And I think the third bucket is that requests that we get, you can say, about quality of life of merchants and agencies, how to do things at a larger scale, how to update the catalog more easily, how to update the site more easily. And I think we are, in a very good starting point to begin with, as all the product pages on Duda Native are created automatically based on the design that the merchant or the agency creates, and updating them is very, very easy. But we keep making more and more improvements over there. I think that every few months we release, I don't know, between 5 to 10 improvements that allow merchants and agency better quality of life when working with Duda e-commerce.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very complex, I'm sure. I mean, it's super interesting what you were sharing, and I'm very interested in checking out this SEO AI feature that you announced. So thank you for sharing. And I think there was a question from Jennifer, but Duda already answered that one. So I have maybe a question to Rocio, because she was talking a lot on, scaling. So I was wondering, so what advice you would give to other Duda partners who are looking to replicate your success and in scaling offerings to SMBs?
Okay, I think that one advice for other Duda partners, it's about to be clear to which kind of client we are helping at. This is what we learn and what will help us have a good success with Duda and SMBs. Maybe make it easy and low cost for SMBs to start. Many small businesses are scared by high prices and complex setups. So for us, it's important to understand the kind of needs that our clients have. The other thing is to think about how your product will grow. We started with a simple website, then added small stores, then full stores, and now we plan to create e-commerce with AI to having, more solutions for the clients. Having this step helps clients grow slowly and easily with you. And the last one, to focus on helping clients to get really sales on their products. This is the most important thing, I think, because when clients see they are selling online with you, they trust you more and want to do more with you.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. Thank you. Let me see if we have some more questions. Not yet. Please keep them coming if you want to know more. And also, when I think about this agency shift, right? I mean, like the shift from an agency heavy model to a lighter touch approach, that's pretty significant. What was the internal resistance to, if any, like to this change, and how did you actually manage it?
I mean, at the beginning, there was some resistance, especially from people who were used to the traditional way of working with many steps and big processes. Some team members, even though were worried about losing control or quality, about to change the kind of way that we were working on. So others were not sure if the new model will really work for our clients, in fact. So we try to manage this, we try to explain to everybody the benefit really clearly about faster delivery and better focus on what really matters. We also included the team in small tests and showed the results step by step. So this helped with trust and reduce the fear of change in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Great job, then. And also, when you think, or when we talk about challenges, right? So what was the biggest challenge there when you were scaling your operations? And what would you like to share with us?
I think that one of the biggest challenges was to keeping quality while growing fast. I mean, when you add more clients, more websites, and more people, it is easy to lose control fast. So another challenge was to align all the teams, sales, production, post-production, support, with the same goals and processes. To fix this, we work in documentation, clear workflows, and training. But the most important part was creating team culture where everybody and everyone knows the why behind the work. That helped a lot to keep the focus and solve problems really faster.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. I have also a question to Jonathan, because when we were talking about, all the different payment methods and what you were all integrating now and coming features. So many years ago, I gave a speech on SEO and cultural differences in e-commerce. And when I was researching and preparing for my speech, I found out so many interesting things about, how people shop, what they are looking for. And because I was based in Istanbul back then, and people would pay everything really with credit card. So that was the main thing, was just have it with credit card. And then when we took a client, their operations from Turkey to Germany, suddenly a whole different scenario came up, and they didn't have Duda or any other platform. They built everything themselves. And when we came in as a consultant, it was so difficult and so tough then to work the way through, the German culture, and that the way they prefer paying, that they need a lot of options. They want maybe SEPA, it's called, or bank transfer, and this and that. And I think that a lot of companies then, fail or don't scale as fast as they want. So I think Duda comes in here and just found kind of a great place. So if I would build an e-com, now I'm working for Amazon, it doesn't matter, but we have our own storefronts. But now, actually, I think it's super cool that you have everything ready. And how do you go if there comes an exotic country that you don't have maybe as a customer yet? How do you help them to fulfill their needs? Do you know anything about these countries then?
Sure. One very interesting example that we see more and more, this comes from both Latin America and Asia Pacific, is what we call offline, like deferred payments. This is payments, it comes from apps, it comes from other applications where the buyer checks out and then they get some kind of code or reference, and then they go to pay it by another way. It can be in a 7-Eleven, it can be in a kind of a kiosk that they pay, or some kind of an ATM with a bank transfer. And we have some partners who work in these markets. Some of them are small, some of them are large, and they all have demand for that. And I'm happy to say that we have very good support for that. And we have a lot of agencies. It doesn't need to be a big one, because our fulfillment partner and fulfillment network know how to do and support that just using our custom payment gateway integration onboard these, very country specific payment methods into Duda, which supports all these kinds of, for me living here in Canada, payment methods that, as you said, I would be surprised if I had to use them, but in many countries they are very common. So we see this go online. We see our fulfillment partners help agencies, help our bigger partners to do that. And I think in today's world, I guess that when you dealt with it, this was like a very big project. Today, I guess it's like can be 2 weeks, end to end, from the minute that you start understanding that you need to integrate something like that to the point that it's working and your merchants can use that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Hans Knapp is asking us something, and this one goes specifically to you, Jonathan. Are there APIs available for custom integration?
Yeah, actually, we have dozens of APIs of the native store. One of our major decisions was to make the native store API first to begin with. So you have all the catalog exposed with APIs and all the store configuration, and including you can customize shipping and to actually create your own shipping methods on the fly with live rates and custom payment gateways. And as we mentioned, a lot of also like the checkout customization can be done via API. Of course, getting orders, details, getting customer details. You're invited to go to the developer portal, and over there you will find very extensive list of APIs and webhooks that we support. And also for users who don't want to use API directly, or it's not part of the plan, we support a lot of connectors in the App Store and via Zapier. And many popular use cases here are to integrate incoming orders to external system. Say that you want to connect to some marketing automation that we don't support, so you can do it by pushing, the order details and the customer details. And from there, it's endless possibilities, sending texts, WhatsApps, emails, adding to MailChimp. And we see a lot of people use that. And this is also something that, in many cases, I think the challenge with e-commerce or with any site that, has some operation attached to it, it's not just static pages and contact form, is that the business might have something in place already, right? They might have all their contacts in Mailchimp or another local CRM, that they work with. And as an agency, you want to be compatible with that. You don't want to tell them, no, I don't work with this software, and then they need to decide to migrate, and you will probably lose this customer. And therefore, we decided to allow you always, to integrate even with like Zapier or the connectors that we have in the App Store. So you as an agency can create your own tech stack or also work with incoming customers that have something in place and you want to connect to.
So you thought about a lot of APIs then, as guys have. And Rim just posted the link there for the Ecom API. So thank you, Rim, for being so supportive in the back end there. Thanks a lot. And actually, maybe Rocio also, because you were you were telling me beforehand while we were preparing for this session that you are working with across 9 countries. Would you have maybe a story to tell or a request that you had and then you tried to solve it on your own and maybe Duda helped you solve it? Would there be something that you would like to share?
Yes, we have a case that, for example, the case that I put like a successful story that is the wine shop. That store begins with a small store solution that we gave, that it was a web plus store. After a few days, the clients decide to change it to a small, a huge and a bigger store for us with Duda, because he was really satisfied with the kind of product that we are giving to them. And they really start selling really more products to Argentina, in fact, to sell all the different wines that they have. So I think that is a good story to tell because it's explaining how we start with one product and after that we upgrade it with a good experience that the client can have with us, and we do that too.
And it was successful in the end, like the wine store that it was.
Yes, they don't start it to sell into the whole country. They started like a really small company in Santa Fe that is like a state. And after they changed it to a huge step with the e-commerce, they started to sell into different countries next to Argentina and start to sell into all the country Argentina. So I think that makes a huge difference in the economy of this kind of clients. And also they start like to think in a different way about how they can sell the products with different clients.
Interesting. Cool. And as your charity, wanted to ask you if all of the nine countries that you service to, is it in Latin America or also across?
Yes. No, we are only in Latin America right now, and most of them, the big market, we are right now in Argentina, and we have different 8 countries to work with.
Cool. Very, very nice case study. And maybe also a question to Jonathan, like as a product leader, how is it for you when you see, your features coming to life and what you just presented, what is coming up in this year and then until the next DudaCon? Can you describe like how it is for you when you see your customers succeed with the features you developed?
Sure, it's very exciting. And I have to say, I did not foresee this before I came to work on e-commerce, but you just learn a lot of things about the world, right? I didn't know that there's a product that I think it's called cattle oiler. It's some kind of device that when the cows are herding, it's like applies some medicine to them against flies and something like that. And that there are very specific anchors for jet skis for shallow waters in Florida. And all of these are things that I learned because I saw people selling them online with Duda. So besides of seeing the features that we think of being used, I think one of the joys that I and the other people working with me in the team have is to see the actual business that people do on top of Duda. And it's amazing, how many varied offerings we see of physical products, like I mentioned, of services that people sell. It can be coaching, it can be courses, it can be trainings, it can be digital books and that we see. It can be amazing jewelry designs that we see on Duda, and like all this variety is always something that's great to look on. And the actually also like the very well-designed sites. We see sites that have amazing design, and that you can see that it's like the store is not just an online catalog. Okay, we try to share them with the audience every once in a while. It's not something that we always get permission for, but I think it's also part of the reason that a lot of and more agencies choose to build e-commerce on top of Duda, where you have all the design capabilities built in. It doesn't cost, extra money, and you're not dependent on external parties like, to develop plugins or themes for Shopify or WordPress or others. You can have all the parts of the website, the informational parts that talk about the brand and the store pages, and soon the checkout, as we mentioned also, and to have all them on brand with amazing design flexibility. And we know that this makes a lot of difference with sales of our stores, especially when it comes to small businesses that many of our agencies and partners serve, that have something that's a bit unique to offer, that buyers need to understand. It's not just I would say a general or a commodity that you can buy on Amazon, and merchants only compete about price. And I think we see the amazing work that agencies do, to promote their merchants through design, through SEO on the Duda platform.
Super. And also there's a follow-up question from a Charity. Can he send, or can I send shipment tracking emails automatically? That would be an interesting question.
Yes, so it can work in two ways. We have some, if you work with what we call manual shipping, we have some emails that are sent automatically. But also if you work with any of the fulfillment, not the shipping partners that we have through our automatic shipping, so actually everything is taken care of. The merchant, marks something as fulfilled, and from there, like FedEx or UPS or any other shipping provider, just takes care of all the all the customer communication. And of course, if something goes wrong and there's a return or something like that, it's also assisted and managed by the shipping provider.
That's cool. And there's a lot of partners out there, but why do people pick Duda for solving their problems and compared to other solutions?
So I can, only say what I hear from the partners that we talk with, and I think that the design flexibility that we see is a major component. The ability, as I said, to express the brand and the value of the business in the store in a comprehensive site that is also on, you can say, the more static parts like the homepage, the informational page, etc., that are needed for conversion. People want to know what they buy, from whom they buy, and why. They're not always interested just in the product and the price. And I think Duda is a great platform for agencies and for merchants to express that. Of course, the over-the-top SEO that we have, that we take everything that we do with Duda in core web vitals and design and on-page SEO and all the checkers and AI that is combined into that, and we also add the e-commerce layer on top of that with specific SEO schemas and practices for e-commerce. So this is one group. I think another one, and this is like each time we talk with our partners, we hear this is the ease of use for the agencies, but also for the merchant part. Because if the system is complex and every 2 days the merchant needs to call the agency and to say, I don't know how to do that, I got stuck, something is not clear to me. So these are a lot of support costs for the agency. And as I said, we have 2/3 of the store managed by merchants who are like on a DIY track. They don't get any, assistance in the building, and we see them, selling, not less than, the merchants who do get assistance from agencies. And we also hear from many of our partners that used other systems like that Guru did and others, that the support costs and the operational costs, it can be for a small agency, it can be for a large agency, with Duda native e-commerce are like an order of magnitude 10 times low that what they experience with other systems. And I think, when an agency wants to build e-commerce websites at scales, looks at the economics of this product line, this is a major consideration that they have.
To complement Jonathan what said, in our cases, we choose Duda because it is easy for us to be inside of Duda. We don't have to hire full developers to work in the Duda platform. We can hire people that really want to know something new and something that is really easy to work with the platform inside. Besides that, we think that our clients, they really wants to work in their store too. So they don't only buy a product by itself. They go inside of it and they try to make different changes on the store or on the web page. So for the clients, it's important to be clear and easy to work in the platform too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for adding this. And Hans is asking also if Duda supports real-time rates from carriers like UPS or FedEx.
Yes, definitely. This is our automatic shipping feature, which allows the checkout to present the live rates based on the buyer's location and the specific items in the cart, of course, the dimensions, their types, etc.
Okay, fantastic. And just before closing, is there anything that you would like to add that the audience should know, and anything you thought that would be important to add?
Maybe if you're starting like checking different companies that are selling stores, I would suggest you to compare some of them about the complexity that they have. You can choose Duda, whatever you want, but you have to think more in the client that you are selling the product. So maybe you will have to check which are the knowledge that the future client you're going to have to give them the right solution and to give them no more problems, just a right product and a right configuration of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Maybe some last words from you, Jonathan, before we go over to the next session.
I'll just add one thing to your question. I think, and I know that many agencies, don't want to go into e-commerce because they perceive it as too complicated and too many support costs, etc. But I think first, this is not the case with Duda e-commerce. As I mentioned, we see this, and we invested a lot, and our designers and developers and product managers work very hard to make sure that the platform is usable and easy to use. And I think that I would encourage, all the agencies listening to see how do they add more e-commerce and more coming soon booking, because I think that we see, and this was discussed a lot in DudaCon, from any direction and aspect you can think of, sites need to become more transactional to allow LLMs to interact with them, to allow to become revenue streams. And I would encourage all the agencies to take the step and look into adding e-commerce to their portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot myself. I hope also the audience learned some new stuff and got excited about the new features that you just talked about. And Rocio, also thank you for sharing everything that Guru does. And I hope you'll stay on for the next session as well, because we'll be talking around recurring agency models and revenue. So let's see what does happen in the next hour. Thank you very much. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.